We want to keep you updated on this breaking story. NYS Director General Richard Ndubai is among top officials who have been arrested following the ongoing probe on the loss of 9 billion Kenya shillings from the agency. Sam Mishuki, former Acting Director General, and the Chief Accountant have also been arrested. Others who have been arrested are Sami Mbogwa from the Ministry of Public Service and the head of stores Walenalo Mulubmi and Ferdinand Matayo Odoyo. Businessman James Derito Soita has also been arrested. They were rounded up last night and were detained at the Muthaiga police station. They're expected to be taken to the DCI headquarters for questioning before being taken to court to face various charges related to the scam. Now, on Friday, investigators gave the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nudin Haj, 10 files related to the alleged scandal. Now, we also want to give you an update regarding Public Service PS Lilian Omollo. She has presented herself before the DCI headquarters after NYS Director General Ndubai's arrest last night. So she should be at the DCI headquarters at this moment, even as police step up the hunt for the 9 billion shilling NYS scam suspects. Now, who are these two individuals? I'm talking about PS Lilian Omollo. I'm talking about the NYS Director General Richard Ethan Ndubai. Well, we have some background history for you. Let's put those up on the screen. All right, let's tell you a little bit about Lilian Omollo. She was a graduate in the 2001 class of the Joint Kenyatta University of Illinois Entrepreneurship Master's Degree Program. She was appointed to that post in November 2015 as the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Public Service and Youth. Now, her responsibilities included overseeing the operations of the Directorate of Public Service Management, the Directorate of Youth Affairs, and the National Youth Service. So this fell squarely in her docket. But in terms of other experience, I want to tell you a little bit more about her. She's the immediate former CEO of New Economic Partnership of Africa, Kenya Secretariat. That's coming up on your screen. There we go. She also managed the Public Sector Reform Program in UNDP Kenya. And she was a core team member in the establishment of the Brand Kenya Board. So that's a little bit about the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Public Service and Youth. She was a core team member in the establishment of the Brand Kenya Board. This is the lady that we had told you an hour or so ago the police were looking for her, but now we've been informed that she has presented herself to the headquarters of the DCI. Now, let's tell you also about Richard Ndubai, the National Youth Service Director General, who was arrested last night amongst 19 other suspects in this NYS probe. He holds a Bachelor of Commerce accounting option from the University of Nairobi and a master's degree in public administration from the Harvard University. In addition, he's a PhD holder, recently graduated in performance contracting, measurement, and public service delivery. He got that PhD from the University of Nairobi. Now, he's also been described as a long-serving public servant, a former permanent secretary, and those should be coming, okay, and a former permanent secretary. He's a member of various professional bodies, including the Kenya Association for Public Administration and Management, the Kenya Institute of Management, and he holds, to his credit, 3 state commendations. So Kenya Institute of Management and 3 state commendations, just to name a few. So those are 2 persons of interest. Even as we talk about 20 people being arrested, we know that Kenyans will be keenly looking at what will happen to the NYS Director General, what sort of information will come from a gentleman of his position in the National Youth Service, and also PS Lilian Omollo, who we were told the police were looking for, but we have now been informed that she has presented herself before the DCI headquarters. To confirm this and to give us more details, any further information he may have gotten since we last spoke about 20 minutes ago, is Stephen Leto, who has pitched camp just outside the DCI headquarters. Leto, I know we just spoke a couple of minutes ago, but in that break, it has now been confirmed that Lilian Omollo had presented herself at the DCI headquarters. What information, what more can you tell us about this?
Wahiga, the same information that we have is that PS Lilian Omollo has presented herself before the DCI. They are DCI detectives who had gone to her home for arrest, but she instead surrendered to them, and they brought her all the way to Muthaiga police station because she has not yet surrendered to the DCI. She has surrendered to the DCI detectives who, drove her all the way to Muthaiga police station, where where Richard Ndubai, alongside the 20 others, are being held at the moment. And any moment from now, we've been able to speak to some of the detectives telling us any moment from now they are, putting their paperwork together before they can bring all those arrested to, answer to questions or for questioning right here at the DCI headquarters. What we know so far is that Richard Ndubai and PS Omollo are already with the DCI detectives at the Muthaiga police station because the criteria is once you are arrested, the first place you are taken is a nearby police station, and the detectives chose to bring the PS all the way to where the Richard Ndubai is alongside others who have been arrested. Remember, this matter of arrest, Wahiga, is a matter that is ongoing, and 40 suspects were on the detectives' radar. And right now we are just waiting to see how many have been arrested so far. Any vehicle that gets into the DCI or that drives into the DCI headquarters is a suspicious vehicle carrying all the arrested suspects, and so we are very keen on each and every detail of the vehicle that drives inside the DCI headquarters. For the 40 detectives that are on the police radar for arrest, we are told those include accountants of the NYS, that the procurement officials of the National Youth Service, the suppliers and the directors of companies that took part in the in the loot of the 9 billion shillings, because some of the issues that were presented to the DPP was that some of the fictitious payments that were made to the suppliers and those who supplied materials to the NYS is some of them were double payment, while some of them were payments that did not match any kind of a supply to the National Youth Service. And remember, during the appearance before the Public Accounts and Investments Committee chaired by Ugunja Member of Parliament of Pio Wandai, PS Omollo and Richard Ndubai, who have since stepped aside, told the committee that the payments were made, but the previous administration that was being led by former Devolution Cabinet Secretary Anne Waiguru, who is now Kirinyaga Governor, as well as Dr. Nelson Githinji, as well as former Principal Secretary Peter Mangiti, were those who okayed the payments, or who the payments were supposed to be made during their tenure, but that the payments that were made recently amounted to the 9 billion shillings were as a result of the pending bills from the previous administration. That has again sparked a lot of controversy with a section now of members of Parliament calling on the Kirinyaga Governor and those who have been mentioned to be re-examined again and summoned before the parliamentary committees. And I guess again, Wahiga, today what again the two will be telling the detectives right here is what they presented before the Public Accounts and Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly, in terms of how they did a lot to ensure that there was value for money, how they saved NYS over 2 billion shillings. That is what we expect now, Wahiga. But again, we are still waiting to see what time they will be here and what amount of time they will be taking in terms of grilling right inside the DCI headquarters, Wahiga.